Hello, people of the internet. Gabber890 back again for another video. Today's going to be a little different though. It's not about a specific system collection of games that I have, but a series of games that I have. Big game dropped last week. It was in a very beloved and scary franchise. Hint, hint. So I decided, hey, let's go back and revisit some of the amazing games in the Resident Evil franchise. I was surprised how many games I have in this series. When I was getting them all together, they just kept flying off the shelf. And in a way, it actually didn't surprise me. But anyways, let's get going. Now, there are a few that unfortunately I haven't got around to, or just really don't have too much playtime to be able to give a solid opinion. So this this is not starting off good. But you'll see why in a little bit, okay? We're starting off with the original. I know, shock and awe. Now I have played it, not beaten this version, but yes, I definitely own it, along with the DS update, which I've been told is basically this is the way you want to play it, with the touch controls, and they kind of have some cool features with the dual screens. So I do want to get around to play the original. Okay, and then another two that I really can't play as far as I know is the Outbreak series, which are online co-op games. Um, then this one, I was surprised that even my brother told me really not to bother with it. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. Yeah, my brother, who is a pretty chill gamer and likes to just have a good time, was like, yeah, this one is really not that great. But got the Steelbook as well, which has some pretty cool artwork. Maybe I'll just mess around with it one day. Okay, then we have Resident Evil, the Dark Side Chronicles. So this is obviously a game for the Wii, and it's kind of like a House of the Dead style shooter. And like I've messed around with it, and it's cool, and I'd like to kind of delve more into the story. And the same can be said for Resident Evil, the Umbrella Chronicles. Um, Both kind of fun arcade shooters. Okay, now we've gotten to the games that I have played. Majority I have beaten, but there are a few that I have not finished, but I did get to play a good chunk. And this is going to be controversial, may get me banned off of YouTube, I don't know. But of the games I have played, this is my least favorite. Not to say it is a bad game, okay? Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I'm sorry, guys. One of the things I love with Resident Evil is the atmosphere, and going to the mansion or going to the labs, or where all the cities where all these horrible things have happened because of the T virus, the G virus, and so on. And yeah, you're dealing with zombies and monsters, but it's more about like the exploration for me. And so this one I struggle just because Nemesis is relentless, and I get that that's the whole point of the game. So like that's how it's meant to be. You find the key and you're like, "Oh, sweet. Now I can go back to the other side of town to unlock this door." And then Nemesis of course shows up on the best route to get there. So then now it's like, okay, I can either use a bunch of ammo to get him down for 30 seconds or go around the long way. So I just struggled with that aspect, but there was some fun moments and boss fights that I did enjoy. Okay. Then we got Resident Evil Revelations 2. I kind of tried it out a little, but I did not go any further because I have not finished the first one. And you would wonder why I haven't, seeing as how I own 3 different copies of it. So it originally dropped on the 3DS, and it was funny actually because on some of them there's a misprint with Revelations. You see that they put some letters in the wrong spots and did not realize it until later, which they did correct. And then I picked it up on the Wii U and the 360. And I did start, and I got to the first boss, which is a huge pain in the butt. Holy crap. But I've been told that it does get better from there. And not to say it was bad, but just different, because it's like kind of chapters that you play through. Alright, here's another one. This one's controversial in the series. And I understand it has a different feel, but I did enjoy this one. And that is Resident Evil 6. Yes, it definitely turned into more of an action horror game. But I thought like the combat was cool and some of the monsters were crazy. But one of the best features was playing co-op. Like me and my friend back in the day played through the whole game and had a good time doing so. So yes, got that on the 360 and the PS4. Okay, now here is a classic. And this one is a phenomenal game, and that is Resident Evil 2, the original one. I had fun with this one. I really liked the alligator. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, Leon is he's interesting in this one. But yeah, it was fun. Okay, now this one's one of my personal favorites. I really like Resident Evil Code Veronica X. I just thought like all the locations were really cool. The story was interesting. You know, with the brother and sister, that was crazy. And yeah, Wesker, he was also really cool in this game. So I enjoyed this one. I also picked it up digitally on the PS3. It was on sale for like $3. All right, now we're getting to the one that dropped last week, Resident Evil 8 Village. Got the Steelbook, of course. Interesting. So yeah, I picked this up day one, played through it, and I tried to pace myself. I'm one of those people that I don't want to beat it in one night. I want to at least enjoy it for a week if I can. But anyways, awesome game. Like if you liked 7, obviously it's a continuation, but it's the same style. But yeah, it's kind of like a mixture of 7 and 4, just because of the atmosphere and some of the enemies you're fighting. The story was crazy. Definitely wasn't expecting anything like that at all. But yeah, anyways, I really enjoyed it, and it got nuts. Alright, so speaking of 7, here is 7. 7, I wasn't sure what to make of it, because I did play the Silent Hill PT demo, and that was nuts, and it breaks my heart that will never come out, most likely. And I thought it was smart on Capcom's part to say, hey, well, you know, if Konami's not going to do that, we'll do it. And I thought they did a phenomenal job. It felt to me like they captured the old school Resident Evil vibe, more of the survival horror. But it had fresh coat of paint, and the whole first person perspective was crazy as well. But yeah, I really like this one, and all the DLC, because they had the Not a Hero that was free, and that was crazy. And then the one where you play as the uncle, that was nuts. I played through that in the PSVR, and that was wild, because you don't have any weapons, you just have your fists, and so you run up to the monsters and you just wail on them. So anyways, the DLC I highly recommend. Alright, up next. This one got flack for some stupid reasons, but it's an awesome game. And that is Resident Evil 5. Yeah, a bit over the top, I'll admit. But I loved it. I thought it was a great follow-up to 4. And a solid game, interesting story, cool locations. Yeah, okay, Sheva was a little annoying if she was was an AI. But, just don't give her the health or what you don't want her to use. Problem solved. But, yeah, anyway, yeah, this is sealed. I need to open it up. I was excited to grab it. It was on sale, and it includes all the DLC, which I actually did not get a chance to play through. So there's my reason to go back. And then speaking of 4, holy cannoli. All right. Here's Resident Evil 4. Comes out on every platform every couple of years, and that is still true because I believe they announced it for like Oculus recently, or one of the VR platforms. So yeah, I picked this up day 1 on the GameCube, and man was I excited. And quick story about this one actually. So I was not 17 when it came out, and I could have easily had my brother get it for me. He actually bought his own copy, and I bought my own copy because we didn't want to share. We each had our own GameCubes, and we probably could have worked it out fine, but we were just both so excited for it, and we wanted to each own it. But anyways, I remember I went in and I pre-ordered it, and then over the months I would go in and just add more money once I got more, and I had it paid in full. So I had my original pre-order receipt, and then the paid in full receipt, which I believe I still have to this day. And so I was all excited, and I go to pick it up, and so I'm like, "Here, I'm here to pick it up," and I give the receipt to the guy at the store, and he's like, "Okay, do you have your ID?" And like my heart just drops, like, dang it, like I'll just have to have my brother come back. And then he looks at both the receipts and he's like, "Well, yeah, both of them, you're good, man." And so he just hands me the copy. And I was so excited, I just like bolted out of the store. So, anyways, awesome game, and it was cool when I pre-ordered it. They they had this behind the shelf, and I was like, I had no money because I just put whatever I had to the pre-order, and so I was like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, this is just a demo. It's you get it for free with the pre-order. Here you go." So yeah, it's just the first part, the beginning at the village. And I remember me and my friends just played this like over and over and over. It actually took us a while to beat it. Like it was crazy with El Salvador with his chainsaw. So anyways, that was cool to have. And then it has like some trailers for some other Resident Evil games that they ported onto the GameCube. And then when I picked it up, I got another little bonus, and that is the making of Resident Evil 4. And this was actually pretty cool. They talk about like all the work and effort that went into it. And so yeah, they went all out. And then I got this in a bundle and I held on to it just because I thought the artwork was so freaking cool. And that's this Resident Evil 4. I don't know if this came in that tin case or not, but anyways, just really cool. We got El Salvador there. And then yeah, we got on the PS2, which has the Ada Wong missions. And then we got the Wii version, which I actually haven't played yet, but people were saying this was like one of the best ways to play it, and that the aiming with the Wii mode actually works really well. And then I picked up the PS4 version just to have it in HD. So yeah, Resident Evil 4. That was a fun time. All right. Now, it's funny because my experience with Resident Evil 3, you would think that I would not pick up the remake, but I did. I picked it up day 1. I'm not exactly sure why, and I was dreading a little bit actually playing it because it was like, I didn't care for Nemesis. I found him really annoying. But anyways, I picked it up, and oh man, I had so much fun. I really enjoyed this, and I kind of liked that it had more of a set path. And yeah, there was a few cuts that made it, a little bit shorter, and you wonder why, like how cool it would have been if they had, some of those boss fights in there. But the encounters with Nemesis were always so freaking cool. And I really had a good time with this. So yeah, I got the Steelbook as well. So yeah. And then we have remake of 2, which in part is why I picked up 3, because this one was like a perfect remake, just about. Just the graphics, the new places, just everything, just incredible. And then I really, really like the Steelbook that came with this. Got that first zombie that Leon encounters, the Umbrella logo. So yeah, this one was a really phenomenal remake. All right, and then we got Resident Evil 0, which I thought was cool because, they kind of did something different and went out of their way to try something, with the partner system and swapping back and forth. And I think it works really well. And I thought the story was interesting, and like going to the training facility and finding out, more about like the G virus and like William Birkin and all that crazy stuff. So this was one of my favorites back in the day, and the second one I ever played. And so it's obvious, okay, what is number 1? And that is remake. And this is the first Resident Evil game I ever played. My brother had it, and I'd watch him play, and I wanted to play, but I'm like, no, it's too scary. It looks like it would be too hard. But he's like, no, just play it. Stop being a baby. And I played it, and I beat it. It was crazy. But man, the atmosphere in this, the backstory, you come into this mansion in the middle of the forest, and I was like, what's going on here? And you just delve deeper and deeper, and you find these high-tech labs and find out about the T-virus, and just find all these creepy letters. And the swimming pool always freaked me out, even though nothing happens there. But yeah, this was kind of how the creator of Resident Evil imagined number 1 to be. And so once they had the extra horsepower of the next generation, they did it. And so and there was also parts cut from the first one that they were able to put back in here, like Lisa Trevor. Whew, don't get me started on her. But yeah, so of course I picked up the Origins collection, 0 and 1, in high def. So yeah, anyways, those are all my Resident Evil games. Phenomenal series, one of my favorites for sure. What are your favorite Resident Evil games and why? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.